Which one should we do? Should we do Shapiro or should we do the Taibbi Elon?
Well, we
Musk?
should probably do Taibbi Elon, right?
That's your favorite.
I'm sorry.
Twitter's falling apart. It really is. I mean,
I know you can't even read the Twitter
when
files
did the
anymore.
when did the whole thing about the this happened over the weekend, right? When did the Twitter when did the check mark
It
go
happened
away?
on 420, man. That's why I thought he was joking, because he said his
Better on a
first
holiday.
purge was going to be April 1st, and I was like, okay, so then the next one's going to be 6/9.
Okay, so when did the blue check go away?
420.
Yeah, it was Thursday.
Oh, Thursday. Okay.
Night. Yeah.
And then when did he decide, when he realized, like, oh, nobody's buying my service, that he was going to give it for free to like
LeBron.
LeBron
Yeah, like sometimes it was-
and who was the other guy?
Stephen King.
Stephen
And
King.
Stephen King. And then
Because
so he gave it
they
free.
were making fun of him publicly, so it was a troll move.
Yeah, like, so-
LeBron said, "I won't
I
pay
won't
for
pay
this,"
for it.
so he gave it to him.
Right,
Which,
but-
by the way, if LeBron wanted to be litigious, they could look into like you are ascribing you're saying you're falsely advertising that I subscribed to a service initially as advertising for your service, Twitter Blue. But anyway.
Without a doubt. And the thing is, like, apparently Elon said, well, I'm paying for it out of my own pocket, which is also weird because, like, can anybody just do that? Like, can I pay for, like, Emma, like, out of my pocket, like, you know, without Emma knowing about it?
He's not paying for shit. He's pressing a button.
Well, of course
Or
not.
so he's getting some underling to press a button.
But there have been weird things because now some people have been seeing that he's potentially restoring verification for accounts with over 1 million followers,
Yep.
and even some posthumous accounts like that of like Anthony Bourdain, who was of course passed away 5 years ago, is now verified.
This is like, you know, the one thing that we can be sure of is this guy doesn't know what he's doing. And even, I guess, as like in March, advertising revenue was down something like 89%. We are, and just to be clear, the most that advertising revenue can go down is 100%. Although I guess theoretically you go into negative territory, which is sort of what he's doing with LeBron and Stephen King. He's actually expending money because of the lack of advertising.
and Matt Binder.
Well, so wait a second. So let me see if I understand this too. Like, he gives it for free. Now remember, when he bought it, he said, like, we're no longer going to have this, like, we're going to democratize this.
Free speech for everyone.
Free speech for everyone. But there's a little bit better free speech if you pay for it. And so LeBron and King don't want to pay for it because it's embarrassing and they think it's stupid. And so he forces it on them. And then he gets mocked for doing that because, wait, you were supposed to democratize this and now you're giving it to free because they made you feel bad. And I guess, like, then he gave it to Binder.
Well, Binder's been on top of
Binder
it.
still, does he still have his blue
He
check?
still has it. He gave it to.
Can I not see it because I don't have a blue check?
No. You could just go. He has it. You're overcomplicating it. He is a petty little shit, and he saw Binder in his replies getting a lot of traction, making fun of him, and so he's giving the checks to guys that he wants to troll who don't like the service, which is just a really fascinating way to run a major social media company.
Or to run a company. I mean, there's going to be a lawsuit with shareholders, right? Or do they have shareholders?
No,
I mean,
well, he took it private.
He gets bonesawed by the Saudis.
Yeah, who knows? Oh, yeah, okay, so Binder does have it. I can see that now
Shouldn't
on
have
his
smiled
thing.
at that.
But, and let me make this clear. I have told Twitter that I refuse to have a blue check now.
I told Jack Dorsey that.
I said, I have said it. I haven't been able to reach anybody in particular, but they know, and that's probably why I don't have my blue check anymore. I've told them,
Yeah.
not going to do it.
Right. Well, then that would
The buck
probably
stops here.
give you a blue check is
Yeah.
the point.
But with all that said, Matt Taibbi went on to the Jimmy Dore program to talk about his relationship with Elon Musk. And, you know, this is of interest only because, you know, there was a lot of talk about how you have sources, You cannot make an assessment as to why they're giving you stuff, or you measure only on its newsworthiness. And Taibbi was very, very offended by people who said, hey, man, you're coming off as if you're working for Elon Musk. Like, it really appears you're just carrying water for him. Like, you're putting his interests are really the most important interests here. And he said, that's ridiculous. I would never do that. I don't operate in the interests of my sources. I operate in the interests of journalism. And here is Matt Taibbi, and there's co-host. There's a fill-in host for Jimmy Dore.
I know that recently it's been reported, and you've talked about this, that you and Elon Musk, the owner of Twitter, had a rift. He became convinced for some odd reason that Substack, which you write for, is a threat to Twitter. And that led to basically a dispute between you. As I understand, he wanted you to leave Substack to join Twitter, and you refused to do. And by the way, the
pause it for 1 second. Aside from just finding out that's Aaron Mate, it's quite evident why Elon Musk, and maybe they just don't do, maybe it's just sort of like a rule of the show. Don't read anything before you come on if you're hosting this show.
Prerequisite.
But the reason why Elon Musk perceived Substack as a challenge to Twitter is because of the introduction of notes. Now, I just know this from reading material. I haven't used Substack notes, but it sounds like it is a competitor to Twitter. The notes being shorter pieces of writing. And I think Elon Musk got, a little bit uptight about that. So I don't know.
mean, I would understand why he feels threatened. Like little notes that you subscribe to and they come in your feed and you subscribe to specific authors, that makes much more sense as a business model than paying a subscription service so that your own tweets become a little bit more prominent. Like I think that I like the Substack model a little bit more if that's what he's going for.
I'm just curious how Taibbi squares this with the statement he made on Joe Rogan's show, which is that Elon Musk is a guy with a good sense of humor who just loves free speech.
Breakups are really hard.
I mean, free speech is a malleable term, but go ahead.
I know that recently it's been reported, and you've talked about this, that you and Elon Musk, the owner of Twitter, had a rift. He became convinced for some odd reason that Substack, which you write for, is a threat to Twitter. And that led to basically a dispute between you. As I understand, he wanted you to leave Substack to join Twitter, and you refused to do. And by the way, the people who accuse you of doing Elon Musk bidding have been conspicuously silent on that you refused Elon Musk's demands there. But what does this mean for the Twitter?
Pause it. Like let's be honest. I mean, even when George Soros calls me and says, hey man, I want you to move to Florida, I say no or something like Taibbi's entire, like the way he makes a living is through Substack, and
the entire announcement of the Twitter files was preceded by one of these conditions that Taibbi leapt and met, which is that this all needs to be on Twitter.
Twitter, yes.
So this idea that
but you did not leave your source of income, and frankly, when Elon said, will you get a divorce? You said, no, I'm staying with my family. Yeah. So I don't think you could be accused of doing whatever Elon said.
Yeah, he said he wanted you to wear a raincoat 6 days out of the week, and you said no, and put your foot down. So I think you deserve a lot of credit for that.
Pretty funny. But go ahead.
And you refused to do. And by the way, the people who accuse you of doing Elon Musk bidding have been conspicuously silent on that you refused Elon Musk's demands there. But what does this mean for the Twitter files? And can you give us any sense of what's coming next?
Well, we still have a lot of stuff. I mean, we have I wouldn't say a lifetime, but we've got a lot of material. So we're going to report all that out as much as we can. I'm sad about it. Yeah, I like Elon. I think he did a really great thing. I think there's a misunderstanding here, and it's unfortunate. I hope he continues it with other reporters. You'd be a great choice, you know, if he decided to go that way. But yeah, no, it's unfortunate. And you know, he's indicated that he doesn't really want. He thinks that all good things really have to come to an end. He's made these political comments about it. It's too bad. Just one last thing about that. You know, this whole business about me maybe.
But wait a second. Wait, pause 1 second. Like, wait a second. If he's got all these Twitter files, why doesn't he just give them to Mate and Mate can report him out? Like, why does everybody need to wait to see if Elon is willing to get back on the dance floor?
leak it.
Yeah, he told me that all relationships
But honestly,
have a
like,
season
but
and
wait a
our
second.
season's over.
Where is, like, even from an ethical obligation, like, what is the obligation that Taibbi has to Elon Musk with those documents? Like, why can't he simply say, I'm going to copy them and let you do some reporting? And
Elon might
because of-
post their private messages again, like he did.
But I mean, honestly, like, we've seen this with WikiLeaks, right? Like, we've seen multiple organizations, news organizations, get together, particularly with the Chelsea Manning material, and form a consortium and go through this material. I mean, if this stuff is so earth-shattering, why is it being hoarded and by these reporters so that it can be monetized in piecemeal?
Yeah.
If there's really important stuff in here that is important to democracy, why don't you set up a consortium, give access to other reporters so you don't have to wait for Elon Musk to tap the next, like, Cinderella at the ball?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, like,
lucky
this
for you.
is, I mean, I'm trying to take at face value
Yeah, the
what we've
journalistic
been
ethics.
told here about this material being so earth-shattering
Right.
and so important. Why is the behavior of these reporters really more about, like, I've got a lifetime of stuff here? Well,
Hopefully the boss gives you access to it too.
why don't you get this information out? It's so important. Do we really have to wait until you're 85 to see the end of this? Continue.
And you know, he's indicated that he doesn't really want. He thinks that all good
Long-term
things really
relationship.
have to come to an end. He's made these sort of elliptical comments about it. It's too bad. Just one last thing about that. You know, this whole business about me maybe going to Twitter or using the new subscription service that they have, and you know, I was trying to protect Elon actually in that situation. Like, my understanding of the whole thing, and I was trying to communicate this to him, is that the Twitter files wouldn't be taken seriously if people saw that there was any kind of financial, even theoretical financial relationship between the two of us. And this had to be public, you know, that there was no kind of connection. And he would be getting lots of negative PR if I had done that move. He would never hear the end of it. But he didn't see it that way, which is unfortunate.
Wait a second,
So-
pause it. Now, wait a second. So, doesn't what Taibbi mean to say is, like, this would compromise my integrity as a journalist
Yes.
if I did this?
Yeah. People would say what they actually said about it, given that he did actually meet one of Elon's conditions, which is it has to be exclusively on my
published on
platform.
But I mean, like, it is so strange that he is at least delivering this message in this way, because it feels more like he's doing this interview to communicate to Elon Musk, right? Because, I mean, I really honestly think that what, you know, Taibbi, you would imagine if the primary point of this was to say it would be an impingement upon my integrity. Mm-hmm. It would, because it would make me look bad as a journalist. For Elon, it would just look like a coup, just like the original one did, frankly. I'm going to handpick the journalists who I'm going to give this stuff to. It's going to appear to be independent. But you've got Taibbi here either genuinely feeling like it was his role to counsel Elon Musk as to what is in his best interest from a PR perspective, or you have Taibbi trying to communicate to Elon Musk that I had your genuine interest.
Yeah.
And this is his way of basically trying to say, like, bring me back in.
No, Elon unfollowed him on social media, so he's got to get his friends to post a photo of him looking cute. So,
But honestly, I want to look like I'm just curious about this. Like, what's
I'm
the
sorry.
third?
It's funny.
What's the third option here?
No, it's the PR thing. It's what we've been saying all along. It was a targeted information dump with Matt Taibbi, where he met seemingly all of the conditions that were important to Elon Musk, including posting it on his own platform. It advertised for Taibbi's Substack, and then Elon saw him as like not useful anymore, and so that relationship was over. That's what happens when you get in bed with a mercurial psycho billionaire who has no other interests except his own kind of except himself. Sad.
Is there any more to this, or no?
Finish it out.
And he would be getting lots of negative PR if I had done that move. He would never hear the end of it. But he didn't see it that way, which is unfortunate. So, but it was a good thing while it lasted, and I think we learned a lot of good stuff.
Hope so.
There we go. I mean, I certainly learned some things.
Yeah, we've all learned so much.
Oh, we're way over. Okay.
Do you think that it's sorry, just really quick, that the New York Times is reporting that Don Lemon conducted an interview last week with Vivek Ramaswamy, and that played a role in his firing, and then we have that interview. Maybe we can play it tomorrow. But why is Vivek Ramaswamy now central to the two major media firings that we saw? Like both Tucker Carlson's interview and. Could we just be a coincidence?
He got in like an argument with Lemon about something where basically he was like, if you're not black or if you're not the ethnicity of this of what you're talking about, you can't say this thing. And so Vivek obviously took that and ran with it to numerous different media appearances. So I wonder if maybe they were like that was embarrassing or shoddy or whatever. But well, I'm sure more will come out.
Yeah, it's